Okay, welcome to the integumentary system. This is a very interesting organ system and the largest organ system in the human body. What do you say about that? Okay, let's get into some deets. I don't know if I could do that. I might be too old for. Anyway, the integumentary system consists of skin, which is the largest organ system in the body because it covers everything. Okay, but it also includes your hair, your nails, both fingernails and toenails, glands, and the nerves that function within that system. Okay. All right. Excellent. So can you see the transcript? Whoever asked for closed captioning, can you see it? It's at the bottom. Okay. All right. So let's get into all of these parts of the integumentary system. When I was a student, I asked an instructor of mine, and I pointed to this word and I said, "How do you pronounce that?" And she said, "Skin." But as you now know, it's much broader than this. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is your skin. This is the layer that covers your entire body, and it's all constructed of all of these elements. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so the top layer is called the epidermis. That's the outside. Okay, then below that is the dermis, and you can see that's the light pink part, and see everything going through there. Okay, the next section is hypodermis, which you may remember, hypo means below and often referred to as subcutaneous. And oops, sorry. Whoa, we're getting a little crazy here. Okay, the hypodermis and the subcutaneous, sub meaning below, cutaneous meaning skin. So as usual, just like the English language and many other languages, we have multiple words that mean the same thing. Isn't that fantastic? Okay, but you'll get used to them. And remember that once you graduate and you begin your career, you will work in a place where those individuals, those professionals with whom you work, will use one term or the other commonly. But we have to prepare you to work anywhere and everywhere. So that's why we try to teach you all of the different variations. So just so that you can get a little, used to it, feel comfortable with it. Okay. All right. Hair, which you may notice, has come from below the skin. It's anchored into your body in the skin, and the hair follicle you see on the left side of your screen looks like a little bulb. If you've ever grown or you've ever looked at scallions, okay, scallions are very much like human hair, except the bulb is embedded, as you can see, in the dermis and the hypodermis or subcutaneous layer. Also in that area, in that border town, if you will, is the sweat glands. And this is very, very important, okay? Your body needs to sweat. It's an important evacuation of fluids. And there are individuals who have hyperhidrosis. Hyper meaning above, hydrosis meaning to sweat. Okay, I had a teacher in high school who had hyperhidrosis, And then there are also people who do not have, their sweat glands are not working properly. This is also a serious condition, okay? We have your adipose layer, which, as you can see, that's the yellow bubbly stuff. Yes, the common term for adipose is fat, but we don't ever want to fat shame. And remember, fat is very important to the human body, very, very important. And the biggest thing that fat does, now fat does, adipose does a lot for the human body, but one important thing is cushioning, okay? All right, and then you have connective tissue, you have blood cells, blood vessels, and just so you remember, okay, in anatomy books and illustrations, arteries are indicated as red and veins are indicated as blue, but in the human body, it's all red, 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 okay? So remember, arteries is oxygenated blood coming from the heart to the tissue, and then veins are the garbage disposal, waste management, taking excess deoxygenated blood back to the lungs to get oxygenated and then back to the heart. Okay, so you see how, and this is one of the miraculous things about the human body, is the way all of these systems work together. I mean, every one of the 14 body systems they do not function by themselves. They cannot function by themselves to have a properly 100% functional body. And it's amazing to me how it is all worked together. Okay, so I share my amazement with you, honestly. All right, so as we just said, and bears repeating because this is important, epidermis is the outside layer, dermis is the middle layer, and subcutaneous or hypodermis is the innermost layer of what is known as the skin. Okay, now for those of you going into medical assisting or even surge tech, this is important because injections and infusions will be given, and you need to know into which layer of the skin the injection or infusion must go into. And if you get the wrong layer, you can cause serious harm to the patient. So this is why it is so very important that you understand what's what. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? No. Okay. You know what happens when you come up with a question? You email me. Yay. I love getting emails from students. All right. Now let's talk about hair. Hair is important. And like I said, it looks just really like a scallion. We have your bubble at the bottom, which is embedded again into that area of the adipose, where the adipose and subcutaneous tissues meet the dermis, the middle layer. Okay. This is known as the hair bulb. I don't recommend that you go into a grocery store and ask for hair with a hair bulb. It does show how smart you are, though. Okay, so the hair grows from the bulb outwardly, okay? You have the hair follicle, which is the part of the hair that is new growth but has not reached the epidermis yet. We haven't seen it on the outside yet. And the oil glands, which are a part of it, are adjacent to the growth of the hair shaft. Okay. And as you know, different melatonin, different skin colors have different qualities of the glands that work to provide oil and coverage and protection to the hair. Okay. And, you know, I think it's not only a melatonin issue, but different people have different types of hair. And you'll notice like some people have more oily hair and some people have drier hair, which is why when you go to buy shampoo, you have to stand there for 20 minutes because there's 4,000 different choices. Do you want dry shampoo hair for dry hair? I mean, shampoo for dry hair. Do you want shampoo for oily hair? Do you want shampoo for straight hair or curly hair? All of that happens inside your skin below the epidermis. And then the hair shaft is the part of the hair that is visible outside of the epidermis. Okay. All right. So you will think of this the next time you go buy shampoo, which reminds me, I need to buy some shampoo. Okay. I hope you find me entertaining because that is my point. All right. Next, we're going to go with the phalanx, but not the whole phalanx, just the nails. I'm not going to show you my toenails, so worry not. Okay, because this is sufficient. All right, so you know this hard part that's attached at the ends of each finger, okay? Now the phalanx actually is the bone, as you can see, the bone inside the finger, the protrusion, all right? Then you have subcutaneous tissue around the bone. So you'll notice that you have the dermis and the epidermis. You'll notice that you have the same layers, of course, in your finger that you do everywhere else in your body. But in this case, we are also looking at the addition of this nail plate, which makes sense, okay? Every woman probably already knows about the cuticles. You always talk about the cuticles. You got to get rid of your cuticles, but not too much so that your nails grow properly. But prior to, right inside of the cuticle is what's known as the mantle. And then below that is the matrix, the root of the nail. Okay. You know the white little half moon that you should be able to see at the cuticle of your fingernails? Okay, everybody examine your finger. You can choose which one you want to examine. Okay, you will see that lunula. Okay, you know luna means moon. Lunula means half moon. And that's where, because of its shape, right? Okay. Then you have the nail plate, which is where the fingernail polish goes. And the dividing line is that line, you see, where the pink ends and the white begins. And the white is the free edge of the nail. If you've had a French manicure, you can see this very clearly. But if you have no manicure, you can see this very clearly. Okay. Now that hyponysium is that really sensitive part where your nail kind of attaches to the skin of your finger. If you've ever accidentally gotten a thorn or a splinter stuck in there, you know how very, very sensitive it is. Okay. And that's the story of the nails. And you can ditto this 20 times. 10 fingers, 10 toes. See, look how efficient you are in your learning. You learn one set of medical terms and it works 20 times on the human body. Isn't that fun? Are you having fun? Come on. All right, let's look at this. Your exocrine glands, not endocrine. Now remember, endocrine is inside the body. Your endocrine glands, your whole separate body system. And we will talk about that at another time. Now we're talking about exocrine with an X. Okay, these include your sweat glands, your lacrimal glands, your salivary glands. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Okay, your mammary, really, that's such an easy word. Mammary glands and your digestive glands, which are located in the stomach, the pancreas, and the intestines. Your sweat glands are why you constantly need to shower and use deodorant, because they just make, well, as you can see on the right side of your illustration, they are the ones that secrete these chemicals that make stinky poo. Okay. I'm laughing because, you know, the transcript actually spelled stinky poo correctly. Isn't that nice? The efficiency of technology. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what am I going to tell you? Because this is so incredibly important. It's important to your future career. No one anywhere can work within healthcare and not understand the language of healthcare. Plus, this is so incredibly important because you're a human being. I may be assuming, but yeah, you're a human being, which means all of these pieces parts are your pieces parts too. So there are going to be times when you need to communicate with a physician about your pieces parts, or possibly your child, your spouse, your parents' pieces parts. You need to be able to speak intelligently because you are intelligent. You know how you get to be intelligent? You become educated. You know how you become educated? You review these words often. If you're not absolutely positively exactly, I know what that means, use a medical dictionary. We talked about that before. And then query when necessary. It is so, so important. You query me, you just send me an email at any time of the day or night. I will answer you within 24 hours during the day. Okay. But I'm here for you to help you, to support you absolutely positively. And remember, the class list, the email that's in there is a mistake. It's not correct. So just make sure you write down Sapien SC, put that in your contacts. So it's really easy. I want it to be really easy for you to communicate with me, because I'm here to be your coach, and nobody ever won a gold medal at the Olympics without a coach. Okay? Questions? I'll be looking in my email for your questions. But until then, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And I'll see you next week.